So, the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 5, without a doubt, was a turnaround episode because we have seen so many mixed reactions on the Book of Boba Fett Chapters 1 through 4. 4, in my opinion, being the very beginning of the turnaround, and now Chapter 5 really brought everything together. Now, in case you guys have not seen it, don't worry, we're not diving into any spoilers regarding the Book of Boba Fett. But we have chapters 6 and 7 remaining that's going to actually make its way into February before we head into the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series marketing run by this March. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So, what's really exciting, all the more so right now, is that we are not only getting very close to Star Wars Celebration, we're just a couple of months out. You know, it gets very close with each month that passes by, and hopefully it's not going to be canceled due to certain circumstances, but it is going to be by far the best celebration under Disney's wing, without a doubt. Not only because of the number of announcements that they have in store, but exactly what those announcements are really going to be, and that's something that I think a lot of fans absolutely need to look forward to, because this is going to be by far the biggest celebration yet, and if Celebration gets canceled, it's going to be interesting to see how exactly they're really going to be able to announce all these projects with the same level of excitement. So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, on top of all of this, we already know that George, John, and Dave are working around the clock to make sure that Mandalorian Season 3 and Season 4 are all going to work out very well and okay. They're making sure that the Ahsoka Tano series is going to be by far the most anticipated Star Wars TV show for 2023, because not only do we have the return of Anakin Skywalker being portrayed by Hayden Christensen, that is confirmed, by the way, for the Ahsoka TV series, but we also have the world between worlds in that TV show. We also have characters like Sabine Wren, Ezra Bridger, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and another, batch of surprise characters making their way into the Ahsoka series, which we're going to get into that a little bit later. Now, on top of this, alright, what's really intriguing has everything to do with Jon Favreau. So, with the Mandoverse as an ever-evolving piece of Star Wars by Jon Favreau and Filoni, they are also going to be working on brand new timelines for the Star Wars franchise for new TV shows, books, novels, and more to arrive in the near future. Now, it's described, however, that recently Jon Favreau got involved in a new interview where he was able to talk more about his plans with the Mandoverse and the entire Star Wars universe at that. Favreau goes on to state that, it's funny, when I saw the Star Wars fandom, it reminds me of myself in my young adult life. I was always so passionate with Star Wars Legends back in the day, and I continue to enjoy it to this very day, and that's something that we are truly going to bring back to life in these new projects that we are working on. Myself and Filoni are planning wonderful things for Star Wars. We essentially want to bring back many of your fan favorite characters. We always wondered, what would it be like to bring back characters like Han Solo, or Leia, or even Luke Skywalker? The question I always get asked about is, where is young Ben Solo? He laughs. I really can't say much on that, but let me just say that the fans are going to be so pleased with what we are doing for the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian Season 3. So, I want to actually go back to what Jon Favreau actually said here and how it matches directly up with what we talked about a couple of months ago of how Mandalorian Season 4 is going to be a very big deal, because that's where young Ben Solo is going to get the most screen time out of all of the Mandoverse projects that are planned right now. Now, what's really interesting about that is that Jon Favreau kind of laughed and brushed it off about young Ben Solo, but what he did actually say is that he is bringing back a lot of those fan favorite characters that a lot of fans grew up with. Those like Luke, Han Solo, Leia, and others out there. We already know that they had extensive plans for Leia to return in CG form in Rangers of the New Republic. Now, sadly, that overall project is all canceled. They're trying to reframe it. They're trying to take the scraps of that show and dividing it up into different TV shows, and that's a very interesting strategy and all, but It just seems like that Favreau is really on his A-game here. He knows what he's doing. He's really trying to hype the fans, and that's what I like so much about Favreau. He's a very passionate guy. You know, he knows exactly what the fans like. He knows Star Wars from bottom to top. I mean, this guy knows Star Wars like the back of his hand. He knows exactly what he's doing. So, when you look at everything related to Legends and how Favreau is a big fan of Legends, that's exactly why, if you guys look very, very carefully, I mean, like examining every frame of The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett as a prime example, you see so many different things from Star Wars Legends that Jon Favreau picked up and threw into live action form. So, on top of this, alright, he goes on to say that to us, it's about bringing back those fan favorite characters and how we can mimic their interactions from Star Wars Legends. I'm serious when I say that we are going to be experimenting with all those classic characters that the fans grew up with. Exactly how is something I am not at liberty to say, other than I believe it's going to be an astronomical sigh of relief for the fans. We know that the fans have been waiting and waiting for something truly exciting. Something that can create that spark, you know? That good feeling that Dave mentioned. We want to keep that intact with these new projects, and we just cannot wait to share it all with you. Now, this universe has so many possibilities for us to explore, and I am just having so much fun going over all the Legends material and cherry-picking what we believe works best for shows like Mando, for shows like Ahsoka, and it's just all going to make sense to the fans once it all arrives. You just wait. Favreau goes on to state that it's our jobs to respect the lore and to respect what George had created all those years ago. I mean, looking back at him in 1977, who would have knew Star Wars would be so big? Well, all three of us, we want to make it even bigger, but in a respectful and meaningful way that is not going to feel cheap and not going to feel ordinary. We really are embracing to be original while also dragging in the fan favorite characters of Star Wars into this new universe. That's a ton of it will remain as post-Return of the Jedi, which is my favorite era because this is during a time in which Luke Skywalker is at his peak. It's a time where the Jedi are really beginning to come back and return. Let me just stop right here because Favreau, alright, basically admits that they are bringing back a lot of those fan favorite characters, that a lot of those that grew up with Star Wars with the originals, a lot of fans that grew up with the prequel trilogy even, and that just goes to show you how much they're paying attention right now. After all, this is Favreau. He's the guy that really kick-started the Iron Man franchise, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe, even at that. I mean, you can go as far to say that he is the guy that really started the MCU. You know, if you look at Iron Man 1 back in 2008, that's really the true project that really started the MCU in its true form. And Favreau really started it all. You know, I gotta say, I mean, the fact that not only is he the guy that started the MCU, but he's also a character in the MCU as Happy Hogan. What better way to have Favreau involved with this extensive plan for the Star Wars universe to bring back beloved characters like Luke, Leia, Han, and even hinting at young Ben Solo there. There's a lot at, you know, play here with Star Wars. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on that the fans would never even believe to actually happen, and that is actually progressing perfectly right now. You know, pretty much right where we sit right now is where we were sitting in November of 2020, where nobody expected Luke to really appear in the way that he did, at least, in Mando Season 2, getting all that action, getting those lines of dialogue. Nobody really expected Jon to do that. So, overall, you know, let me know what you guys think about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.